everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. It is Florence Akpan here. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. I'm a chartered accountant as well, and I own and operate InfoPlace Canada, an immigration consulting firm based in Canada, helping immigrants from around the world who are looking to come to Canada, be it temporarily or permanently. So my name is Florence Akpan, like I said, and I have lived in Canada for 16 years. I came to Canada as an international student, and I watched my parents and other parents to walk through the process with their children and things like that. So the things that I'll be sharing today would be things that I have come to see and learn, and just see that it's like a common thread of concern among parents, or things that parents are not really aware of or don't really understand about the Canadian system and how things work. And knowing these things would save you from a lot of headache and stress, and also help you move your child to actually achieving the goals of completing their Canadian degree and coming out and studying and all of that. Today I will be talking about top 5 things every parent, guardian, or sponsor sending any students to Canada should know before embarking on that journey. So if you would like to know these 5 things, please stay tuned and watch. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. I know I have not been here very much, but things are about to change, and hopefully we can get more videos coming from me this year to this channel. So we're gonna get right into it. If you are looking to send a child of yours, or sponsor a family member, or you're a guardian to someone that you're sending to study in Canada, there are very important things that you need to know. The first thing that I want to talk about today is the cost of the tuition. It is very important for you to know about the cost of the tuition that the students would have to pay for the program that they are coming for in Canada. So the tuition cost is very important. When I say tuition cost, what do I mean? That is not just like the 1-year fee or the first semester fee or the deposit that you pay once the admission is secured. You have to think about the whole program. Immigration requires that you have tuition fee to cover the duration of study in Canada. So if it's a 1-year program, then you have to show tuition fee for that full 1 year. If it's a program that is more than 1 year, then you have to show either the fees for the whole duration of the program, or provide proof to Canadian immigration how you're going to raise those funds in subsequent years. So it is really, really important to have that in place before you start that journey, because if tuition fees are not paid, your child will not be able to continue taking classes in Canada. They will be restricted from registering for classes in the next semester, and if they're restricted from registering for classes, it could impact their status in Canada as well. So it's really, really important to have that from the get-go, have that sorted out. Know that you can actually afford that program of study. Know that you can afford that duration of study as well. The second thing is the living expense. Many times I find parents or guardians are very focused on the tuition fee and not overly on the living expense. It is actually very expensive to live in Canada, which is why parents have to also be involved in the selection process for the province that you're even going to. So you have to think about it. Where are they going? What is the cost of living in that place? Now, the Canadian government has made it easy for us by giving us an estimated cost for an international student in Canada for 1 year. It is set at $10,000 if you're living anywhere outside of Quebec, and if it's in Quebec, it's $11,000 per year. So it's $10,000, which means that whatever the tuition fee is, add your $10,000 is what that living expense would be. Now, there are many times that people say, oh, I have a family member or I have a friend in Canada that I can stay with. While that is really nice, it is important for parents, guardians, sponsors to take into consideration accommodating their dependents, whoever you're sending here. Take into consideration having the money for their living expense, because sometimes what people who are living in Canada may find it difficult to tell you is the cost of living here. So adding an additional person in a household means adding additional water bill, additional power bill, additional feeding bill, and most times families here, they don't have that much extra in terms of the cost that it involves to take that on for a long period of time. You may be lucky enough to have a friend, family member, sibling, relative that can house your child for a couple of weeks while they're settling. That is great, but bear in mind that if they choose not to continue, you really can't blame them, because the cost of living here is really high, as you know, and it's really important that your child comes prepared for their own living expense and where they're going to stay as well. When we talk about accommodation and living expense for new students coming in, what I do advise my clients is, if they're young, let them stay on campus. On campus is very important, it's easy. Canada is cold. So sometimes when you're on campus, all of the buildings are linked together, so you don't even have to go outside. So for a new student who is just adjusting to the society and to Canada and all of that, staying on campus is one less thing they have to worry about. They don't have to wait outside for a bus to get to class. They don't have to take public transport. And sometimes on-campus residency would have food as well that would help them with their adjusting, because most times when students come, especially young students that it's their first time coming out here, they have a lot to adjust to. So it's really, really important to take this into consideration, the living expense that they'll be incurring when they get here, in addition to the tuition fee when the student is coming to Canada. The second thing that I wanted to chat about is the education system in Canada. It is very important that guardians, especially young applicants that are coming, who are just finishing high school from home and coming to Canada for university for the first time, it is different. Many times students are coming from places where they had lots of supervision, when to study, when to go to class, when to do this and when to do that. The thing with studying in Canada is you're not going to have any professor, anybody coming after you to check if you went to school, if you studied, if you did homework or not. So at this point, I would like to caveat that most times when parents are looking to send children to Canada, it is important to ensure that your child is independent, can take care of themselves, can do certain things by themselves without supervision. And not just taking care of themselves, they have their own goals, dreams, and vision of what they want to attain. Because if you have that, you'll find that it's actually a lot easier for the students when they come here to actually go after their goals, go after their dreams. When I came here, I had goals, I had dreams. Like, it didn't matter whether my parents were here or not. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to be. I was motivated to go to those classes every day. So when you have children that have that, it is a lot easier for you as parents. So it's important to work on making that come to stay before you actually even send the student to Canada. Is going to be very important, because when they come, like I said, there'll be no supervision or anything like that. So that means that the student is going to have to be able to take charge of their lives, go to class, whether it's cold, warm or not, go to class and do all of those things. So that being said, it is important to know that in Canada, most of the times, even up to 60% of your class grades can be determined even before the final exams. So you could get points from class attendance, from assignments, you can get points from quizzes and things that happen before the final exams. So if your child is not involved in all of that, that could impact their grades as well. Not just that, students who don't meet certain grade points average, for some schools is about 65% average. If they don't meet up to that, will be required to discontinue from school. And when they're required to discontinue from school, they may have to leave the country, they may have to switch to a different school. It could be very daunting and very stressful. So as parents, it's very important to be involved in their schoolwork as well and know what is required as much as you can. Have that good relationship with them before even coming, so that that communication line can be open. Get to know what their struggles are, get to know what their challenges are, and most importantly, support them, because they are far away from you. So it's important to have that support so that that communication can still be coming back to you as well. So that's basically it with the school. I'd like to add also there that sometimes students come and they decide to switch programs. They decide that, you know what I always wanted to be, I've started this class, I'm not really passionate about that. As parents, it's important, guardians, sponsors, it's important to be there to support them through that journey of that switch, guiding them and ensuring that they're switching to the right program. They're switching to a program that is going to still be lucrative for them, that is still within their strength and abilities, as long as they're going to be able to get a job after. They're miles away from you. This is not the time to be bent on, you must become a lawyer. So this is the time to work with them to find what are their strengths, what are the new things that they like. And if you have this type of conversations and you have this open door policy with your children, they'll be able to come to you. We're living in a world today where this type of occupations that everyone considered lucrative are still lucrative, but there are new ones coming. So it's important to be open to those as well and speak with your children so that they can be there and you can help them achieve their goals in Canada as well. I'd like to add, if your child comes to you with that type of information, that they're struggling, they want to change, it is important for you to advise them. If they don't already know, if you're a student listening to me, go to your course advisor and ask them for some guidance, because every institution in Canada has course advisors for their students. Talk to them and they'll be able to guide you on the best option for you as well. So that's it for education and things that you need to know. It is very important to be involved in that, and most importantly, having dependents that are here, children that are here, who are determined to do good for themselves as well and achieve certain goals in their lives. So the next thing that I'll be talking about is immigration. It is very, very important as guardians, as parents, as sponsors, to also know what the immigration laws in Canada would be for the person you are sending to Canada. It is important to help as well in this process, and I usually encourage, get to know when their statuses will expire, when their passports will expire, what happens at the end of their study. It is very important to know that. If they have to take leave from school, right now in Canada, international students are only allowed to take 150 days of authorized leave from study, and there's certain criteria to that as well. So make sure that if there's any leave taken from school, it goes through the normal process to qualify as an authorized leave. It's important to know that when students are in Canada schooling, they can only work for 20 hours. So if your child is for some reason working for more than 20 hours, they are contradicting the immigration law. And it's important to speak with them to cut back on that to 20 hours only. They really shouldn't do it because it could affect their future applications. When they graduate from studies in Canada, they would be eligible for a postgraduate work permit. This has to be applied for within 180 days after graduation. It is important to do that to ensure that they have the next step to apply for permanent residence. Is it job hunting? You need to have that work permit to be able to get the job. While they're in school, they can work without necessarily getting a work permit, but when they graduate, they need that work permit. So as parents, as people sending children here, it is important to know these laws as well, because honestly, I have seen so many parents distraught in this whole process because their children may have been here and totally forgotten that their status had expired. I've seen cases where status have been expired 6 months or more. The kids did not know about it. Passport expired, and it's a total mess that leads them to not be able to register for school, to have to leave Canada. So it's thousands of dollars you're investing in your children to come here. So it will be important to also have this information to support you, to help you, so that you are tracking and knowing what needs to be done and the changes that needs to be done in your students' life so that they can get to the right end of their studies in Canada as well. And my final one here today is have a contact for someone in Canada. It is very difficult when you're sending your child far away from you and the only person you know is your child. It is important, be it through school or through associations, that you have a connect to Canada so that you are able to contact them if you cannot reach your child. I have seen situations where parents are panicked, are worried, are scared because they can't reach their children because of one reason or the other. So it's really, really important the moment your child arrives, the same way the schools would ask us for emergency contact. Once your child arrives, ask them for their emergency contact in Canada as well. It is important to have one so that you know who to talk to. It's also important to know who their close friends are, what the people they hang out with. Thank God for technology today. We have WhatsApp, we have Zoom, all of that. Get to know your children's friends as well in Canada. Get their contact details. And this passes on for all parents. Get their contact details so then if you ever needed to connect with them, to speak with them, you know. Many countries have associations in various places. For example, I'm Nigerian, so there are Nigerian associations in almost every province in Canada. You can connect with the Nigerian association if you're a Nigerian parent to see if you can meet with someone who is with an adult that you can connect with. Now, it is not the responsibility that they're taking care of your child or anything. It's just somebody who is in the same city as you, just in case you can't see your child, you can't reach them for one reason or the other. You at least have some other person that you can talk to and say, can you please check on this person? I can't find him. Is he still around? What's going on? Or I need help and things like that. It is very, very important to have this in place. And these tips that I've given are really the things that would help parents, help you feel more in charge and more in control and feel like you know what's going on even though your child is miles away from you. So if you're looking to have your child come to study in Canada, think about these 5 things that I've mentioned. In addition, if you need more one-on-one help, then you can book a consultation with me. I'll be able to go over that with you, walk through all the way from the program of study to getting that study permit and coming in here and helping you put you in the right places to connect and help the child settle as well and provide that continued guidance as well. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, share, and with any parents from anywhere who is looking to send their children to Canada, this advice applies to everybody. If you apply this principle, you'll find that you have a more smoother relationship with your child who has come to Canada to study. So thank you all very much for listening, and I hope to see you on my next video. Have a wonderful day.